Daenerys Targaryen. She says she is the mother of dragons. But would you trust her with your kids? Her father was a maniac. She palled around with Dothraki terrorists. She asked the city of Karth for a government bailout. Then she lost 3 baby dragons after placing them in an unlocked wooden box. An unlocked wooden box. This Khaleesi wants to be queen of the 7 kingdoms, but can she be trusted? Daenerys Targaryen. Wrong for dragons. Wrong for the realm. Paid for by the Committee to Protect Dragons.
We don't know anything about him.
He was never really vetted.
Is he really the true-born son of Robert Baratheon?
All over the 7 kingdoms, people are asking the same question. Who is the real King Joffrey? The people of Westeros are hurting. Winter is coming. Crop yields are falling, and the price of fuel is going up.
The cost of peat moss is through the thatched roof.
And this young and inexperienced king takes advice from a whoremongering imp and has launched an illegal war in the north. What is King Joffrey hiding? This is not our kind of family values. King Joffrey. What a bastard.
What a bastard.
Paid for by the young Baratheons for freedom. Robb Stark. He's the biggest celebrity in the North. But his father was a traitor. He arrested his own mother. His bastard brother deserted the Night's Watch. And he couldn't defend his own castle. Worst of all, Robb Stark hasn't stopped the wildlings from invading our lands and taking our jobs. He even has an illegal alien for a nanny. And now he wants to be king in the North? King? Some people say he's really a wolf. Some people say he eats dead people. We can't wait until it's too late. Send a raven to Winterfell now and tell Robb Stark to go back home. Stop eating dead people and defend the damn wall. This ad paid for by Crossbows GPS.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
When you can't find anything to watch on cable, you get bored. When you get bored, you listen to radio cooking shows. When you listen to radio cooking shows, you invite a friend over for dinner. When you invite a friend over for dinner, you use twice as many beans. When you use twice as many beans, you expel deadly farts that kill your friend's dog. When you kill your friend's dog, your friend becomes unstable. When your friend becomes unstable, you're sued for everything you're worth. When you're sued for everything you're worth, you're thrown to the streets. When you're thrown to the streets, you devote your life to world domination. When you devote your life to world domination, you become an evil fascist overlord. When you become an evil fascist overlord, old friends plot their revenge. When old friends plot their revenge, you are shot in the back of the head. And when you're shot in the back of the head, you miss your jazzercise appointment. Don't miss your jazzercise appointment. Upgrade to Indirect TV. Go online or call 1-800-DIRECT-TV.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven Ultra Lipo Stick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra Lipo Stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used Ultra Lipo Stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra Lipo Stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra Lipo Stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Well, hello, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. Remember that motto as we get into the program tonight. It is, but the motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is Tuesday, April the 21st in the year of our Lord 2015, as I sit here in the bunkerized studio speaking to you, bringing you important news information on politics, current events, and pop culture, and whatever else strikes my fancy. And it's all related to basically you're living the life that you want to live to be able to live it the way you want to live it without too much government intrusion. Like right now, I'm sitting in the bunkerized home studio smoking a stogie while talking to you. It's this new thing. Well, I guess it's not new, but I've never seen it or heard of it before. And, you know, for those of you out there who also happen to be cigar buffs, you know, ladies or guys, doesn't matter. I know there are some ladies out there that like them. But I'm trying something new for the first time, and it's called, it is a genuine Muwat. And that's M-U-W-A-T. Basically what it is, it's a Kentucky fire-cured cigar. Now, with the cigar aficionado at my favorite cigar store called Castro's. Yes, I know, he named it Castro's. And I got to tell you, he's very sorry that he did that, but everybody knows it by Castro's now, so he's not changing the name. But it's called Castro's Back Room, and he's got 4 locations. I mean, this guy started out with one small store back in the 90s, mid-90s, I do believe. And to talk about a small business success story, his name is Eric, and he owns more than just 4 cigar. I mean, he's got 4 cigar stores, and he's got a bar. There's another bar in one of the cigar stores. Well, there's 2, actually. He recently bought out a cigar store that had a cigar bar in it. So now he has 2 cigar bars. And there's a full bar, if you will, that's attached to one of his cigar stores that came after the cigar store. But yeah, the one of the stores, the cigar aficionado, that's what we call the guy behind the counter. I was asking him about this, and basically he was saying, yeah, what they do is they actually, instead of, because traditionally when you cure tobacco and you dry it out, it's air dry, basically. You just dry it out in the shed or in the sun. But in this particular case, they actually use fire and smoke from wood to cure. And it does have a much different flavor. You can smell it right off the bat. When you open the wrapper, you can smell that it's different. And it smells really good. And the flavor, there is a definite different flavor. So if you like cigars, I'm going to highly suggest you give Kentucky Fire Cured a try. No, I think the ones that I saw, there are 4 different sizes. And they're about roughly $7 to $9 per stick. Well worth it in my book. Well worth it. And of course, I am drinking something that goes along with it that I call my liquid crack. Now, I know somebody's going to take this out of context, but this is what I call it. It's Snapple Peach Tea. You could say I'm addicted to this stuff. I love Snapple Peach Tea. I actually tried it for the first time about 3 months ago, and I have been in love with it ever since. Because I usually drink, the green tea with honey. Different brands, because I like iced tea, bottled iced tea like that. I try to buy the natural stuff. But then somebody bought me some of the Snapple peach tea to try, and it has become my favorite. So I have a bottle of it almost every day now. I mean, I'm kind of addicted to it. That's why I call it my liquid crack. And it's not really crack. It's not a drug. Well, I guess tea has nicotine in it, but I'm not addicted to the nicotine. I just like the flavor. And I like it so much that I want it every day. And thankfully, I still live in a country where I can get it every day if I want to. And nobody can tell me that I can't. Well, at least now. I suppose in New York, I can't get a big bottle of it. I have to buy the smaller bottles. Well, I don't know. Is that considered a soft drink in New York City? If it is, you can't buy. Was it more than 16 ounces? That's the limit, right? I don't know if they overturned that or not, but actually, I don't really care because I don't live there. And those of you who live there, you have to put up with it because you keep electing the same. Look, you deserve the government that you elect. Plain and simple. I don't elect these people. I don't vote for them. But a lot of you out there, and some of you out there under the sound of my voice, you do. Shame on you. You vote for these people who basically then turn around and take your freedom. And look, every time you add a law on the books, you're taking away somebody's freedom. Now, basically, we've gotten all the common sense laws pretty much out of the way. Have we? Robbery, murder, rape, that type of stuff. That's long since been settled. Most of the laws that we're adding now, they're not common sense laws. They're these so-called societal fairness laws. And all they're doing is trying to... this is how you end up committing one crime, but being charged with like 20 different charges because they keep adding law upon law. So, if you... let me give you an example. Back in the old days, if you walked across the street without, using the sidewalk or the crosswalks, you were called jaywalking, and you got a ticket for it. Today, if you jaywalk, just as an example, not only would you get a ticket for jaywalking, you'd get a ticket for endangering the public welfare because now you're causing the driver of a vehicle to suddenly slam on the brakes and possibly get in an accident to avoid hitting you. If somebody gets injured, you got negligent injury attached to you, possibly, assault by walking, and they just keep piling it on. because they keep adding all these other laws. And this is what makes it more and more difficult for a person to defend themselves from onerous charges, if you will. Look, I know people are going to say, okay, there he is. He's back on the anti-law, anti-cop bandwagon again. And no, I'm not. But pay attention to this, please. Because this is now hitting home. This is now for real. And what I have warned you about a police state, by giving the police too much power, has come to pass in Wisconsin. And I first got wind of this, and I wasn't able to hear the whole thing, but I wasn't able to do a thorough investigation on this yet. But you can better believe tomorrow I will have a lot more of this for you. But in Wisconsin, I did not know, mainly because I don't live in Wisconsin, there was something that is nicknamed the John Doe laws. Now, this law really came to light because of Scott Walker. Now, here's the thing. When you give too much power to an organization, such as your prosecutorial office or your police department, there is inevitably going to be an increase in corruption in utilizing that power. Now, for whatever reason, the state legislature instituted this law called everybody knows as the John Doe laws. Now, what are the John Doe laws? John Doe laws basically mean that your constitutional rights have now just been stripped away. And that the government can come in, and because this actually happened to a lot of Wisconsinites. A lot of them. And the more I started looking into this, the more my eyes got big with fear. Because let me give you the basic lowdown. You had a prosecutor in the state of Wisconsin whose wife was a member of the teachers union. Now, of course, Scott Walker was cracking down on all this union stuff that was robbing the state blind. Well, these people in the unions, they saw their gravy train ending and coming to a stop and pulling into to station, never to leave again. So they were mad. So they tried to get Scott Walker recalled, but Scott Walker easily handled all three of his elections in Wisconsin. Now, the problem is that this woman, whose husband happened to be a state prosecutor, decided that he was going to use the John Doe laws to try to scare people who supported Scott Walker. Now, this is what happened. To a number of people, and I'm not talking a small handful of minority, I'm talking a bunch of people in and around Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And they're still uncovering people that this happened to. In the middle of the night, there'd be a no-knock SWAT team entry. Now, the John Doe laws say that there doesn't actually have to be a crime. But here's the rub. You don't get there. You are ordered not to talk about the raid and potential charges against you. You can't. And in some cases, they're saying you can't even tell your lawyer. Well, I don't know how you can operate a defense if you don't tell your lawyer what's going on. But you couldn't tell anybody. Now, this is a story that's coming from more than one person, more than one family. Now, imagine this. At midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, you're a totally law-abiding citizen. Oh, maybe you speed 5 miles or 10 miles over the speed limit every once in a while. Definitely not something they'd come no knocking and busting in your door. But you're asleep. Next thing you know, you hear banging on your door, and as you go to open it, it gets bust open by a SWAT team. This SWAT team then proceeds to arrest you, take you into custody, and then secure all your electronic recording devices, including your phones and your computers. Most people that had this happen to them in Wisconsin and around Milwaukee still have not gotten their personal property back. All right, now this is a bunch of corrupt cops who are using a law and being told by a corrupt prosecutor, let's go harass these people and scare the living you-know-what out of them. We're going to be able to hold them without telling them why. That's also part of the John Doe law. They do not have to tell you why they're there. The cop can actually say, it's none of your business why we are here. This is part of the law, folks. Go look it up. Now, I got to tell you something. This is something that Mr. Sean Hannity is skating right over. He wants no part of it. Why? Because he is one of those people that are a total 100% no matter what, cops are always right type of cop supporter. That's wrong. I mean, I was surprised to hear today that Rush Limbaugh was a little taken aback by this and didn't like it. Rush is also a very pro-government, pro-law, pro-cop type of person. But even he was looking at this and saying, there's a huge problem. And I've been warning you about this stuff since 2009. And people would always tell, Rod, Rod, this is, I mean, that's only anti-cop stuff. They don't really do that. Well, they're doing it. They're doing it in Wisconsin. And this is exactly the kind of stuff that the SS Nazis pulled off in the 1930s. They would bust in somebody's home. No reason whatsoever. Maybe we suspect maybe that you're supporting some other group. We suspect maybe that you're supporting Scott Walker. And what they're looking for is campaign donation violations. You don't bust somebody's door down in the middle of the night looking for campaign donation violations. That is ridiculous. It's nothing more than intimidation by the government in order to get their way, because they're unhappy that this guy, who happens to be pro-Constitution and pro-freedom, wants to rein in tyranny. But they want to keep their tyranny. So all you got to do is find a corrupt prosecutor, which they had, some corrupt cops, which they did, and a corrupt judge to go along with this thing, which they did. Now, the lamestream media, I did not know this happened simply because nobody, not even Fox News, was covering this. Nobody wanted any part of it. Why did our mainstream media, now notice I didn't say lamestream that time because I'm including Fox and all the conservatives. Why did nobody cover this? You want to talk about constitutional issues? I want to know where Rand Paul is on this. I want to know where Ted Cruz is on this. I want to know where Marco Rubio is on this. I want to know where Christie is on this. I want to know where the Democrats like Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren and Chuck U. Schumer are on this. Because according to them, they're not that devilish, right? On the left, even the left doesn't do that, right? Well, they did it. They did it in Wisconsin. And understand, if it can happen in Wisconsin, it can happen in any other of the 49 states. And I wouldn't be surprised if something like that is happening and it's not being covered. This is scary stuff, folks. This is why you have to know who you are electing, even on your local level. Because this stuff is happening. This is not conspiracy theory crap here. This is factual, documented stuff that has happened in the state of Wisconsin. I'm sorry. It's happened. You cannot give people that kind of power over your life. And we're doing it every day by who we elect. Every day, they're taking away a little bit more of our freedom and giving it that freedom and power to a government agency. Now, what difference does it make if it comes from a local SWAT team or if it comes from Homeland Security? Other than the fact it's just a bigger government that's doing it to you. Well, let's face it. Federal government is doing something similar. Now they're able to hold citizens that they feel could be homegrown terrorists. Now, some people might say, well, Rod, we got to be safe. Well, look at who they labeled homegrown terrorists could be. Your returning military vet. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to serve in the military. Get out of the military, especially after deploying in a war zone, come back, retire from the military, then be lying in bed with my wife and my family, sound asleep at 1 a.m, and having a no-knock SWAT team bust in my door, pointing M16s at me and saying that I'm under arrest, and then telling me I can't tell anybody why I'm under arrest, and having them, if I ask the question, why am I under arrest, and having them not tell me because they say it's none of my business. Can you imagine that happening to you? Well, most Americans would have said, 10 years ago in this country, could never happen. Well, it did. It did happen. And I have been warning you since 2009 that something like this could happen. And people got on me saying, "Oh, Rod, you're cop bashing, you're anti-cop, or you're conspiracy theorist, you belong with the conspiracy nuts." And I kept telling you that the writing was on the wall. I kept telling you over and over. And now we're finding out this is stuff that they tried to bury. And it is coming out now, and it happened in Wisconsin recently. I hope this type of thing wakes people up. Because who you elect, especially on a local level, means the world. Tip O'Neill said it best. He said that all politics is local. And he was absolutely right. Now, actually, there are quite a few articles, and here's one from National. Now, you have to understand that the tip came for this stuff did not come from a conservative media source. The tip is coming from liberal media, online media sources. Now, if you know that even liberals are taken aback by this, just your everyday next-door neighbor, run-of-the-mill liberal. And that's what most of these publications are. But even if they're not the ultra-radicals, but even if your liberal is taken aback by this stuff, don't you think those of you who are independents, middle of the road, and conservatives should be standing up and taking notice? The title from National Review. Somebody want to try to argue with me and tell me that National Review is a conservative publication? Far from it. Wisconsin shame. I thought it was a home invasion. It was the police. And they're taking people's property and not giving it back, not telling them why or the reason why. And even if there's no violation. You can give within certain limits. You can give whatever kind of money you want to give to whoever you want to give. And the whole thing was nothing more than an intimidating factor to try to keep people from supporting Scott Walker. And for a time, believe it or not, there were people that said it worked. That's the most scary part of this whole story. Donors were backing out because they were scared to death the police would return to their home. I don't know who would put up with something like that. Why do we put up with something like that? I mean, subtitle, they came with a battering ram. I mean, busting down your door in the middle of the night because you support Scott Walker. Basically is what happened. That's basically what happened. And you want to tell me that I'm sounding a false alarm? You want to tell me that I'm just spreading, the conspiracy theory of some conspiracy nut? You want to tell me that there's no way in hell in this country that could possibly happen? You want to tell me that I am foolish or I'm anti-police because I'm bringing to you information that proves that when you give somebody, even a good person, too much power, they can become corrupted and it will turn against you. Well, guess what? You were wrong, and as usual, I was right.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up. with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You know, folks, I'm going to stick on this story for a while, and I'm not going to let it go. Simply because this is really too important to not pay attention to, because for whatever reason, the mainstream media is not paying enough attention to this, and it's only coming to light because of all the attention that is being paid to Scott Walker and his potential bid for the presidency coming up. Otherwise, you know, we might not really know about this stuff. And I'm telling you, liberal and conservative alike needs to stand up against this stuff. You need to know your rights and know that this is an unconstitutional law. I don't care what state institutes it. The Constitution clearly states that the government has no right to do that. And it is clearly written in the law of the Constitution to prevent just exactly this. Now, for all you anti-gun nuts out there, let me bring your attention to this. If the state of Wisconsin thinks they can get away with an anti-constitutional law and deny you your rights by busting in your house and not giving you the reason and arresting or confiscating your possessions without telling you why, and without charging you anything, and without ever returning them, what makes you think that they're going to be so benevolent when they take your guns away? This type of action is only going to increase. This is clearly and strictly unconstitutional. There is no two ways about it. Here, let me give you another example. It's called politicized prosecution, and it's run amok in Wisconsin. Now, if you think that, you know, a state's going to go, liberals are going to go nuts over a governor, what happens if we actually happen to elect a real constitutional-loving conservative president? What the hell do you think that all these liberals are going to do? They are going to lose their freaking minds all across the country. They're already losing their minds. They're already pulling out their hair. They're trying to pull out the stops already. We're not even in the heat of the political campaign season yet. And they're already trying to pull out every possible single stop that they can possibly pull out. I mean, they're going back in their playbook and they're trying to throw out every single page that they can possibly think of that is related to this current campaign. And it hasn't even gotten started yet. Why? Because they're running scared. They are scared to death that they are going to lose even more power. That's all this is about, folks. Power. Simple. It's about power and money. They don't want the right side of the political aisle to have the power or the money. Oh, it's bad for a rich person if they're a Republican. Oh, yeah, you rich person, you're just evil, mean. But if you're on the left, oh, no, rich person, good. You're an angel. Even if you don't give a dime to liberal causes, you're still an angel. And we know a lot of liberals do not give to liberal causes because we know by poll after poll and study after study and even government statistics from the IRS that those who give the most tend to be conservative or on the right side of the political aisle. Those who give the least tend to be on the left side of the political aisle. Again, those are stats that even the government confirm, IRS confirms. You can't deny them. You can't. I mean, what was the first year as vice president? What, Biden gave less than $100 to chair? I mean, I think he and Obama were shamed into giving more because they didn't. Don't tell me that they freely give. No, they do it just so they can keep the hounds off of them. Liberals want to do good, yes, so they say, but they want to do good with your money, not with their own. And liberals want to have laws that do not benefit everybody concerned. They want laws that will benefit them. Which is why that's why they end up being so hypocritical. Hypocritical in the sense, and I'm going to move away from this just for a second. Okay, it's not okay for a Christian, God-believing, God-fearing Christian business owner to reject the business of a homosexual. Oh, no, that's not okay in their book. But it is perfectly okay for a gay business owner to reject the business of somebody who's straight who wants to be anti-gay. Now, I have asked this question personally. Okay, let's just say, you want to go into a Christian-owned T-shirt shop and you want to say, I'm proud, or I'm out, I'm loud, and I'm proud. In the rainbow colors and, the homosexual design. And you go into a Christian T-shirt shop and you want them to make 5,000 of these. And they refuse. Do you think they should be forced to make the T-shirt for you? The answer from gays is almost always yes. Okay, flip it. You're now the T-shirt shop owner. A Muslim wants to come in, stating that he's a true and diehard Islamist, and he wants to say that homosexuality is infidel. Infidels must die. So in other words, a T-shirt saying that gays must die. Would you refuse him? Well, yes. They almost always say, yes, I would refuse him. Well, you just said that you wouldn't allow the Christian to refuse you, but you're going to refuse an Islamist. A little bit hypocritical, don't you think? Hell, it's not a little, it's a lot. See, it's different when everything gets flipped. And let me tell you something. If the liberals think, and some of them realize this, that if they can do this to conservatives, what makes them think that they're not going to end up being on the wrong side of the law at some point, or a thought at some point? They know that they possibly could be and would be. Hey, wouldn't it be just, tit for tat? Wouldn't it be fair that if these liberals are going after Scott Walker supporters, wouldn't it be fair for some conservative to decide, well, you know what? We're going to get back at these liberals. We're going to do the same thing. No, hey, we're going to go after these Wisconsin Hillary supporters. Why not? Hell, we know that there's a bunch of questionable stuff surrounding Bill and Hillary's money and finances. There was no real question around Scott Walker and his campaign, but hey, we know that there's lots of questions behind Bill and Hillary, even going back into Bill's days in the White House. So I think it would be, more logical for a conservative prosecutor to find a corrupt conservative judge and to gather a bunch of conservative cops. I don't even think the cops really need to be conservative. To go bust in some liberal's house and do exactly the same thing. Frankly, some liberals like National Review get that picture. They fully understand that it could be turned on them tomorrow. For no reason. It's just a plain bad law, bad idea, and it is exactly why the founding fathers framed the Constitution the way they did. Now, let me ask you people who do not like the Constitution, do you think that the Constitution now is outdated? Do you think it's outdated now? Politicize a prosecution run amok in Wisconsin. Here's a story. The so-called John Doe investigations into Governor Scott Walker and conservative groups in Wisconsin have been on an ongoing travesty. This is National Review again saying this, an ongoing travesty that now now that Scott Walker's entering the presidential stage, should be considered a national disgrace. Now, this is almost the same thing as Obama's IRS looking into potential new conservative nonprofits and denying them nonprofit status. Do you see how this is going, how this already went national, folks? You see how this affects you directly? Not indirectly. It affects you and I directly. And we're talking a state that overwhelmingly supports their governor. And there were just a few people who did not like that. They wanted to get rid of him by any means possible, short of just assassinating him. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were thoughts of that on the left. You know, they don't get their way, and they go crazy. They go bat crazy. When they don't get their way, when something that they had and that they loved gets taken away, oh, they go ape bat crazy. I mean, look at Greece, for crying out loud. You remember Greece just a couple of years ago? The government, basically said, we as a country, we're broke. No other country wants to loan us money. We can't afford all of these social programs and pay for all this social welfare. It's got to stop. And you took it away from them, and they went ape bat crazy. People even died during some of the riots. Do you not think that the same thing would happen? Look, they're going ape bat crazy already, and that's only in one state, and that's only in the IRS. Now, just imagine if more of them decide to go ape bat crazy. And I want to use another word in there. Now, just imagine. And it is not beyond the realm of possibility or plausibility. In fact, it is almost a fait accompli that that's exactly what is going to happen. If you think Occupy Wall Street was bad, wait until you get real conservatives in our government that start cutting back and taking away stuff that these liberals have enjoyed for so long. All this money, legal money laundering, if you will, taking from you and me, the taxpayer, and putting it in their own pockets. You start taking that away like Scott Walker did in Wisconsin. Now you multiply it across 50 states. People are going to go ape bat crazy. They will do anything and everything they possibly can to reverse the trend. Facts is people. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be hard to turn things around, but it's going to be much harder to keep going the direction we're going, because we're all going to suffer and we're all going to pay the price, and none of us are going to like it. But if we can turn this ship around right now, it's going to be hard. You're going to have factions like this in Wisconsin who are probably going to come knocking on your door. Now, my question is, are you going to give them the power to come to your door, or are you going to put a stop to it before they get to your door? You need to put a stop to it before they get to your door, because once they get to your door, it's too late. And I can only see it now in certain parts of the country. They start pulling this kind of crap. People are going to die. I mean, maybe they can get away with it with most with Wisconsinites, but you go up into the UP in northern Michigan and try to pull that stuff, and let me tell you something. Look, people have gotten, game wardens have gotten shot for less than that. You want to start trying to knock down people's door for no particular reason other than you want to grab their computers because you think possibly there might be some campaign donation problems there? Oh, no. And you do that like they did to some of these people? Yeah, and order them. If you listen to us, and we're here to tell you what you have to do and what you can do and what you can't do, or else we're putting you in handcuffs. No, some people are going to reach for their Smith & Wesson. And people on both sides of the badge are going to die. If this is not stopped, I'm telling you right now, folks, there are parts of this country that will not put up with this kind of stuff, and they will attempt to do it in those parts of the country if they can get away with it in Wisconsin. People are going to die. And then will finally people in this country wake up if somebody dies from this? I don't know. If an officer were shot and killed by doing this in Wisconsin, would that wake up the people of Wisconsin and put a stop to it there? Then? It's too late then. I'm telling you about this now. Because it's going to get to a point where people are going to start shooting. And people are going to die. That's my warning. And folks, unfortunately, I am rarely wrong, and I am not wrong about this one. I am almost always right. And I think if you go back and listen to the archives of my shows, you will find out that I am almost always right. And if I'm right about all the little and big stuff in the past, what makes you think I'm wrong about this one? I mean, coming to people's houses in the middle of the night, scaring them half to death when you have a dozen uniformed officers outside with guns drawn and police dogs out there, what are you going to do? And then they come in and start barking orders and trashing your house. You're probably going to start thinking, well, maybe these guys really aren't police. Because I'm not a criminal. I have done nothing wrong, nothing illegal. I have never done anything that would even assume that I did anything, make anybody assume that I did anything legal. Maybe these guys really aren't police because, we got laws in the books to keep people from impersonating officers, but yet people still impersonate officers. We've had plenty of that kind of stuff. I don't know if they come knocking on my door like that for no reason. And if I don't know them, I might start thinking there's a problem here. They may not really be cops. And then, somebody somewhere in states that do not put up with this kind of stuff are going to think the same thing, and then the bullets are going to start flying. Because, remember, cops don't do this to people, right? Cops don't shoot people for no reason. Cops don't pull over people for no reason. Cops do not arrest people for no reason, right? Isn't that what we're constantly told? Well, guess what? Here's a story out of Wisconsin. Cops do things for no reason, other than possibly politics. Because, why? Because cops are human like the rest of us. Cops can be corrupted as well. Which is why you always have to keep them in check as they keep you in check of the law. Because if you don't, they get to run amok like this in Wisconsin. And no, this is not an anti-cop rant. This is just the plain freaking truth. Because this happened to more than just a handful of individuals in Wisconsin. In other words, this was rampant. It is unacceptable, especially in the United States, where our Constitution specifically forbids that kind of action. Plain and simple. But we, the people, have to keep them in check. And you have to elect the right people in office at all levels of government. This is the first salvo. This is the warning shot right here, people. Now that this is getting out, I'm going to see how much the mainstream media picks up. I'm going to keep harping on this. I am going to harp on this. These are liberals doing this. These are not conservatives. These are not independents or middle of the road. These are not rhinos. These are liberals doing this. And I'm going to shout it from the mountaintops. If everybody else goes silent, I will not. Well, unless they come knocking on my door. Then, frankly, it might not end well. And I'm not just boasting. I'm being... Because look, folks, this cannot be allowed to stand without us, the people, putting it back in check. We've got to make a stand on this. We've got to get out there and let people know that this is happening, and we've got to demand that it stops. We've got to demand that our political leaders stop this nonsense now. And it cannot go any further. And it cannot happen again. You make them fully understand that you will not allow this type of legal debauchery to go on any longer in the United States of America. This is something that banana republics and dictatorships do. This is something that communists and fascists do. This is not what liberty-loving free people do. I mean, in this particular story, the targets were told not to tell their lawyers or their friends or their neighbors when armed cops stormed the house next door. People often wonder why, but the targets are forbidden from discussing what happened. How in the hell can you be forbidden to talk about what happened to you? There's no gag order from a judge. The cops just waltz in and say, no, you can't talk to anybody. I can't tell my lawyer? Oh, man. Oh, hell no. He's the first one I'm going to tell. If a cop tells me that I cannot tell my lawyer, I know right then and there that something is wrong. This is not legal. And it's praise Jesus and pass the ammunition and the phone. Because that ain't right. And they're not cops. They're not. Because there is no way in hell that it should even enter a police officer's mind to tell a person that they're not allowed to speak to their lawyer. What's the first thing that people usually do? I want to speak to my lawyer. And what's the first thing cops usually do? Well, they usually shut up because they know they can't go any further, and they let you call your lawyer. But these are cops telling people, you can't call your lawyer. You can't ever call your lawyer about this. You can't ever tell your lawyer about this, or we'll be back. I mean, what the hell is that? I mean, come on, folks. Seriously. If you get a badged person, I'm not even going to call them cops, but if you get a badged person that tells you that you cannot even talk to your attorney, what are you going to think? Are you going to actually believe that they're a real cop? I'm not. Because there's no way in hell a cop in the United States of America is going to tell a person who they are searching, possibly arresting, that they can't contact an attorney ever about what's going on in their home. That raises all kinds of red flags to me. And again, this is something else that is going to cause certain people in certain parts of this country to, yes, praise Jesus, pass the ammunition and the phone, and bullets are going to fly and people are going to die. Because when you start adding all of this up, none of it sounds like America. None of it sounds legal. And people that are not easily intimidated but know their rights are not going to fall for it. I mean, you can do this shock and awe all you want to, but somebody's going to, after the shock and awe is over, and it ends for some people pretty damn quick, they come to their senses and figure out, something ain't right here. I got this badged person shaking his finger in front of me, threatening to arrest me and handcuff me, and telling me I can't call my attorney. And I can't tell my neighbors. And I can't tell my family. And I got to turn the news crew away that might be outside. Notice that there's never a news crew in this particular case. Look, this is not America, folks. This is, this is not America. Not my America. No, it's not. It's not my America. It's not your America. This is not the Founding Fathers' America. Hell, this is not even many liberals' America. Sure, they all probably want a one-party, rule with Democrats in charge, but to do it this way, they fully understand and realize that this is something that is far too dangerous to give to the government. They understand that there are certain things that they can be hypocritical on, and there are certain things that they cannot. This is one of those things that I think many liberals realize there's no way in hell they can be hypocritical about it. Oh, yeah, it's only a bunch of Republicans. Man, they deserve to go to jail and have all their crap confiscated. Well, hey, now a Republican gets into power, and guess who has their turn at having everything confiscated and ripped off and scared to death in the middle of the night? Look, folks, somebody isn't going to like this, and then the bullets are going to start to fly, and somebody is going to die. Unless this is stopped. Don't ever doubt me.
Daenerys Targaryen. She says she is the mother of dragons. But would you trust her with your kids? Her father was a maniac. She palled around with Dothraki terrorists. She asked the city of Karth for a government bailout. Then she lost 3 baby dragons after placing them in an unlocked wooden box. An unlocked wooden box. This Khaleesi wants to be queen of the 7 kingdoms, but can she be trusted? Daenerys Targaryen. Wrong for dragons. Wrong for the realm. Paid for by the Committee to Protect Dragons.
We don't know anything about him.
He was never really vetted.
Is he really the true-born son of Robert Baratheon?
All over the 7 kingdoms, people are asking the same question. Who is the real King Joffrey? The people of Westeros are hurting. Winter is coming. Crop yields are falling, and the price of fuel is going up.
The cost of peat moss is through the thatched roof.
And this young and inexperienced king takes advice from a whoremongering imp and has launched an illegal war in the north. What is King Joffrey hiding? This is not our kind of family values. King Joffrey. What a bastard.
What a bastard.
Paid for by the young Baratheons for freedom. Robb Stark. He's the biggest celebrity in the North. But his father was a traitor. He arrested his own mother. His bastard brother deserted the Night's Watch. And he couldn't defend his own castle. Worst of all, Robb Stark hasn't stopped the wildlings from invading our lands and taking our jobs. He even has an illegal alien for a nanny. And now he wants to be king in the North? King? Some people say he's really a wolf. Some people say he eats dead people. We can't wait until it's too late. Send a raven to Winterfell now and tell Robb Stark to go back home. Stop eating dead people and defend the damn wall. This ad paid for by Crossbows GPS.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
When you can't find anything to watch on cable, you get bored. When you get bored, you listen to radio cooking shows. When you listen to radio cooking shows, you invite a friend over for dinner. When you invite a friend over for dinner, you use twice as many beans. When you use twice as many beans, you expel deadly farts that kill your friend's dog. When you kill your friend's dog, your friend becomes unstable. When your friend becomes unstable, you're sued for everything you're worth. When you're sued for everything you're worth, you're thrown to the streets. When you're thrown to the streets, You devote your life to world domination. When you devote your life to world domination, you become an evil fascist overlord. When you become an evil fascist overlord, old friends plot their revenge. When old friends plot their revenge, you are shot in the back of the head. And when you're shot in the back of the head, you miss your jazzercise appointment. Don't miss your jazzercise appointment. Upgrade to Indirect TV. Go online or call 1-800-IRECT-TV.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven ultra-lipo-stick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on ultra-lipo-stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using ultra-lipo-stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra-lipo-stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used ultra-lipo-stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra-lipo-stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra-lipo-stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
You know, there's another publication, again, not a conservative publication, but more of a liberal bent. USA Today has an article, and here's how it starts out. When Vladimir Putin sends government thugs to raid opposition offices, the world clucks his tongue, but after all, Putin's a corrupt dictator, so what do you expect? However, but in Wisconsin, Democratic prosecutors were raiding political opponents' homes, and in a worse-than-Putin twist, they were making sure the world didn't even find out by requiring their targets to keep quiet. As David French notes in the National Review, as if the home invasion, the appropriation of private property, and the verbal abuse weren't enough, next came ominous warnings to don't call your lawyer, don't tell anyone about this raid, not even your mother, your father, your closest friend. This was the on-the-ground reality of the so-called John Doe investigations, expansive and secret criminal proceedings that directly targeted Wisconsin residents because of their relationship to Scott Walker, their support for Act 10, and their advocacy of conservative reform. In other words, the liberal political machine did not like how you people on the right voted, and they tried to use the legal system, the government, to stop you. That is tyranny. Hello, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, Elrod, who's a little bit more than miffed this evening while sitting here in my bunkerized home studio, somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire, the state with a motto that says, live free or die. Wisconsin should probably adopt this type of state motto because it does not say big government or bust. It is Tuesday, April the 21st in the year of our Lord 2015, as we continue into our week and on this program, hour number 2. I mean, this is I can't believe an hour has gone by already. This is a fast 2-hour show, let me tell you. I mean, I give you a lot of stuff every day. You can come here and you're not going to find the same old drawn out crap day after day after. No, I give you some. Look, I am sure, unless you caught I did not catch all of Rush today. I only caught a very small part, which piqued my curiosity, thinking, what the hell is he rambling about? And then when I saw this, oh man, I lit up. I was livid. And if you don't get upset and livid by this, then you're an ultra left-wing radical nut job that thinks this is okay. That you obviously think tyranny is a legitimate American political weapon. But it's not. Under any circumstance. So don't even try to pull it anymore. And this better go viral. I mean, this is ominous, folks. This is really, you would never, nobody ever would possibly think that this would happen in the USA. Not in their wildest dreams. Well, there are a few of us that said something like this would happen. I was one of them. And lo and behold, all I have to do is just wait long enough, and liberals will prove me right every time. Every time. Because I know them better than they know them. I know liberals inside and out. It's kind of like, a parent looks down on their child and says, I know you, son or daughter, better than you know you. Well, I know liberals better than liberals know themselves. Because I know how they operate. I know how they think. And they half the time they like to try to deny how they operate or how they think. Yeah, we don't think that way. Yeah, you do. But they try to lie to themselves. But, look, you can try to lie to yourself, but to your own self, thy must be true and thy will be true, because you're always going to regress back to your true self. You can put on this facade all you want to. You can try to pretend that you're the most open-minded person out there. You can pretend that race doesn't mean anything to you. And everybody might believe the outside facade, but when the crap hits the fan, you will regress to your most basic part of who you are. You cannot hide it. You're not going to hide it. And this is exactly what liberals are. I know it because I know the human condition. I know how people operate. I know how liberals operate. They try to tell you one thing, but damn it, if they don't revert back to their basic human self and they reveal who they are when they get backed into a corner. And Scott Walker backed them into a corner and they reverted to their basic human self. And I knew something like that. Didn't realize it was going to be in Wisconsin. I can admit that. But I knew something like this was going to happen. I said the police were going to overstep their boundaries because it was going to be political. They were politicians were going to start to use the police and the military for their benefit, and it started in Wisconsin. Who knows where else this is possibly gone? Because remember, they're telling people they can't tell anybody. They're scaring people half to death that they can't tell anybody. Well, they don't want people to know. Why? Because we would stop it. That's why. Because they know what they're doing is wrong, but they don't care. Because all they want is what they want. Period. No matter what the people want, no matter if it's what is best for the people in the nation, they are selfish little children that only want what they... Hell, look at Obama half the time. When Congress doesn't give him what he wants, he whines and he throws a childish temper tantrum. Well, if you don't give me immigration reform, I'm just going to do it myself without you. It doesn't matter what it is. No, that's exactly what he's going to do. Because he's a liberal nut job who's a little child. Maybe government should be a little bit bigger to take care of all the liberals, because they can't take care of themselves because they're such children. They act like they throw. The only problem is you give some liberals a little bit of power and they will abuse the hell out of it. And this is what they have done in Wisconsin. They've abused the hell out of their power. And it's not going to be the last time, folks. Not until we start replacing them. This will not be the last time. And not until we start demanding that the lamestream media actually gets back to the point of actually just reporting the news, no matter where the truth leads them. Just report the truth. Sooner or later, they're going to get it. Let's just hope they don't get it too late. On top of that, now this is from WND, and I heard about this Jade Helm thing a few weeks ago, and it's getting a lot of attention now as well. And now you add this to what's going on in Wisconsin, and I see why there are people out there who are scared to death. Now, if you don't know what Jade, well, here's the deal: Jade Helm, and this Walmart closures have some citizens concerned. Because there are people that located in these areas these closed Walmarts are, and they're saying, well, Walmart is there never appeared to be any plumbing. Walmart says that they close the stores because of plumbing issues. Well, the people around these Walmarts are saying, and the employees are saying, we never noticed any plumbing issues. They haven't told us when they're going to reopen. Now, in most cases, you do not need a permit to do a repair. But if the system is so bad that they have to close the store, that means they're going to have to do some rebuilding, of which case you're going to need a permit. Well, no permits have been pulled, according to these people. And no contractors have been hired. So these people are kind of couple this with the Jade Helm thing that's happening later in the summer, and people are starting to freak out. And you know what? I can't blame them. Because now you're going to you start adding what happened in Wisconsin, and some people are saying, see, Rod, see, you may think the conspiracy theorists are crackpots, but maybe we got this one right, and this is a big right if we got it right. And here's the thing. Military ops on U.S. soil raise martial law fears. Jade Helm 15, meaning Operation 2015, is set to kick off in 7 states this summer, sending special operations forces, special ops, from all 4 main branches of the military onto civilian soil to conduct hostile takeover training, and civil rights advocates are sounding the alarm. Now, frankly, if this were yesterday, I'd probably say, well, you guys might be overreacting a little bit. But today, after learning what happened in Wisconsin, I'm saying, well, I think we better watch this very carefully and be prepared. Because again, you don't know, when liberals think that they're about to lose control and lose power, they go nuts. They go ape bat crazy. They're liable to do just about it. Look, we're talking now, especially, they are on the verge of just completely taking over and running amok in this country. They are so close they can taste it. They're salivating. And to have it ripped away from them at this point, that's more than any of them can bear. And look, we can see what happened in the last 3 elections. They kept losing their grip on power. Because, liberal Democrats are being voted out left and right. They saw where this is going. They see the trend that this country, including the Gen Xers, and the millennials, they're moving farther to the right of center. Because all the stuff that the liberals said, was going to, you put us in power, we're going to make all the, utopia, and none of that's come true. In fact, they've made things worse, and people are seeing this, and they're like, wait a minute now. Blacks, too, especially. Wait, we got Chicago and Detroit, and Obama's been in office 6 years. We're worse off than before Obama took office. How the hell is that supposed to happen? We got a brother in the White House, and we still down here on the plantation like. But blacks are starting to wake up and say. Which is why, when I gave you a couple of weeks ago, that is still on my website, rodeccles.com, or .net, by the way, rodeccles.net. Go over there, you can see it. It's up at the top on the slide portion. You can see the results of a poll. 59% of African Americans think government is the problem, not the solution. And you're talking over half of African Americans now are saying government is the problem. Well, liberals see this too, and they realize that they're losing control. And so they're just going completely ape-bat crazy. So no wonder there are some people who are a little bit concerned about this Jade Helm operation. Again, this is not something that has normally been done. I don't think it's ever been done in the United States to this scale before, especially when when they're mixing and doing the operation jointly with local police departments. That's not normally done. I mean, we realize that warfare is changing big time, and look, they're holding these operations on the in the Southwest. We're talking Southern California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada. I mean, think about what's going on down there. And we just learned last week also that that there's an Al Qaeda training camp 8 miles away from our border in Mexico. So it's highly likely that this is a training because for the very notion, in case of an invasion from our southern border. And our Department of Defense realizes and understands this, and they're preparing for it. And of course, if there is an invasion on our southern border, well, who is the invading army going to encounter first? Well, our local police departments. Yes, our police departments are going to be our first line of defense. Feel sorry for those guys because they're going to be outgunned by military people on the other side, but they're going to be the first line of defense. So I can see why this operation would have to include them as well. Look, it's a whole. I'm looking at a logical explanation for this training exercise, but there are some people who are looking at Wisconsin now, especially, and saying, "See, Rod, I told you it's more than it's." They're telling me it's more than just protecting our southern border. I'm saying, looking at it and saying it's protecting our southern border. But what's going on with Wisconsin? I can see where people might think otherwise. Really. And again, it's something that you're going to have to keep a close eye on to see exactly what they do and what's happening over there, down there. Now, but according to the article, and by the way, this is I did say WorldNet Daily, but the nature of warfare is always changing. In the U.S. Army, Army Special Operations Command mission is to make certain the Army's various special operation forces are trained, equipped, and organized to successfully conduct worldwide special operations in support of our nation's interests. Well, you would hope that protecting our own sovereign soil would be in their interest. That they'd be working for that, training for that. And that's what it looks like they're doing. To me. Look, I'm reserving anything on top of that until more information comes forward. I am not going to categorically deny and say that these conspiracy theorists are just nuts on this because, look, I probably, even though I warned people since 2009 that something like this could happen that happened in Wisconsin, there was still a part of me that just said, that's not possible. You're going to be wrong about it, Rod. You're going to be wrong. And, I should stop doubting myself. Because even whenever I doubt myself, it isn't very, it doesn't take too long for me to be proven right. So I should stop doubting myself. So maybe I should stop doubting myself on this particular Jade Helm 15 thing. There's nothing we can do to stop it. So nothing we can do to stop it. So it's just going to happen. They're going to do the training. So we might as well hunker down, Understand that it's going to happen. Get used to it, and not try not to complain so much about it, because they're gonna have a military operation anyway, and what are they going to do with Walmart? I asked the question. So, well, what are they going to do with Walmart? And some people said, well, Walmart is some of these Walmarts that they're closing are really close to train tracks, Rod. So they're going to be waylay stations for, I don't know, are you talking Nazi Germany concentration camps? No, Rod, they're FEMA camps. Well, that's the same thing. So there you have it. So keep an eye on any Walmarts close to railroad tracks in your area, because that might be and watch to see if they close suddenly or not. And then if they do close, try to peek in the door. Well, there aren't any. The only windows in Walmart at the door entrances, right? So try to peek in through the doors if you can, and see if they're clearing out the store. Because remember, these stores are supposed to be closed for like 6 months. Well, it takes a while to stock a store. It takes a little bit longer to unstock the store. But so just pay attention and see if that happens. See, because if they start taking out, all of the stock, because otherwise all they need to do is take out stock from the areas that need to be for the plumbing that needs to be in there, because the plumbing isn't under the entire floor, because those are, Walmart stores are very large stores, and there isn't going to be a need to rip up the entire floor of all the stores. So, and it takes a lot of work to destock or unstock and then restock a store like that. A lot of work. So that if it really is plumbing issues, they're only going to want to remove the stock from the areas that are going to be affected by any repairs that they have to make to the plumbing system. So if you happen to peek through those doors, if you can peek through, or if you can try to sneak in when plumbers are going through, and let us take some pictures, let me know what's happening inside these closed Walmart stores. I would love to know myself. I'd like to see. Let's see if some of these, if they get rid of their stock in the entire store, I'm going to say there's something amiss. There's something foul is afoot. But I'm not buying into this notion that it's a precursor to locking up citizens. Although like I said, with all that has happened in Wisconsin that is now coming out, I can see why there are groups of people who believe that this is just another salvo in the battle for our continued freedom. And it is what it is, I guess. There's the Billary campaign or camp, and this is a town hall story. They're in damage control mode right now. If you've seen, Hillary is trying to. She's been in New Hampshire. She's going to be in New Hampshire for a couple of days, and she's out there trying to put off that the Republicans that they don't have any other issues but the issue to pick on her, and that they really need to stick to the issues. When she's made a mistake. Because now she's saying, well, that the Republicans candidates need to stick to the issues. Well, she is an issue, a major issue. The economy is an issue. Yes, international affairs is an issue. But she is also an equal issue. In that there's no way that the candidates need to stop picking on her, as some on the left are saying. There's a lot there. And think about it. How many potential candidates for the office of the presidency has come into office or has come into the campaign with as many unsolved active scandals as this woman. I'm not even talking about old scandals that, that are really not active, but they haven't been closed. I'm not talking about old scandals. I'm talking about recent scandals that are still active and open. How many? I mean, she's got at least 3? Well, I mean, what? She's got Benghazi. She's got the emails, the email server, and now she's got the Clinton Family Foundation financing problem. And they're all interwoven with each other, but she wants to say that the Republicans should stick to the issues. Well, Madam First Lady, former First Lady, Madam Secretary, just to let you know.
Hi, I'm George.
You are the issue. Plain and simple. You're the issue. No, nobody else.
Foreman, do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
An issue. And everybody knows it except for her, obviously. Well, I think even maybe she really understands and knows that she is she's an issue, and that they are sticking to that the field is sticking to the issues, which is her. Plain and simple. She's the issue. But she doesn't want people to, she wants to try to get away from that. But let's face it, her campaign was in trouble before she even announced because of all of her scandals, plain and simple. Welcome back, folks, to the Rod Eccles Show. Last half-hour segment here. I mean, just flying by. This night is just flying by. Here's something else, in regards to police officers. And the Supreme Court handed down a decision today, 6-3. Pretty, you're almost not going to get a better, rate than that, considering the makeup of the court. But the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 on Tuesday that the Constitution forbids police from holding a suspect without probable cause, even for fewer than 10 extra minutes. Now, writing on behalf of the court, get who wrote on behalf of the court on this positive manner. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg declared that the constitutional protections against unreasonable search and seizure prevented police from extending an otherwise completed traffic stop to allow for a drug-sniffing dog to arrive. So in other words, police can't hold you there in the hopes that, a dog is going to arrive that can sniff out your car. The Supreme Court just said, because people have always said there's a problem with this. This cannot be legal. It cannot be constitutional that they can just take this dog, run it around the car, and if the dog acts like it smells, drugs, that they're going to be able to search your vehicle. And a lot of times, it's been a false positive. Everybody thinks that, no, dogs are dogs. You can't train the dog out of a dog. And they're not 100% full. In fact, I've seen studies where it said that, that dogs are only 50-50 accurate. So even if they were, 80-20, 70-30, really? You think that is okay? To detain that statistic would be okay enough in your mind to detain a totally innocent person and putting them through hell. Remember, we had a founding father that said it is better to let a guilty man go free than to imprison an innocent man. And remember, we have a constitution that prevents from unreasonable search and seizure. I'm surprised it had to go to the... Well, I guess I'm not surprised it had to go to the Supreme Court. Now, the case Rodriguez versus United States was brought by a man who was pulled over for driving on the shoulder of a Nebraska highway. After the police pulled him over, checked his license, and issued a warning for his erratic driving, the officer asked whether he could walk his drug-sniffing dog around the vehicle. The driver, Dennis Rodriguez, refused. However, the officer nonetheless detained him for 7 or 8 minutes until a backup officer arrived. And then the original officer retrieved his dog. After sniffing around the car, the dog detected drugs, and Rodriguez was indicted for possessing meth. Why couldn't I? I just had a problem pronouncing that, didn't I? Wow. No, my mouth is not getting tired. I just said the words early today, too. Anyway, meth. In all, the stop lasted less than 30 minutes. According to the Supreme Court, though, that search of Rodriguez's car was illegal, and the evidence gathered in it should not be used at trial. While officers may use a dog to sniff around the car during the course of a routine traffic stop, they cannot extend the length of the stop in order to carry it out. Now, first of all, I think the Supreme Court is wrong because they don't have a reason to, again, dogs are not 100% accurate. And if they don't have a reason to have a dog present to sniff around your vehicle, then they shouldn't be doing it. And even if they do it, that's not cause enough to go searching your car. Again, what if you're a person that has a legal drug on you? You know, you get a prescription and the dog smells illegal. It's possible. It's happened. I mean, you're going to have to go through and try to explain to the cop and try to prove to them that you have a prescription and blah, blah, blah. Or you're going to have to, sit there on the side of the road, embarrass as all hell while they go through your car, rip it apart, tear stuff out, throw it on the highway, and then have to put it, then just throw it back in when they don't find anything. Or if you're lucky enough to be more than a few, and we know this to be a fact, to have a cop who's looking to make a score, plant some evidence on you. That's happened. There's no need for it. Yes, I know we have this war on drugs, and I'm all for keeping certain drugs, controlled, and just getting off this whole drug war thing, because it really hasn't benefited society. It's benefited the prison industry, and it's benefited the government as far as fines and everything are concerned, but it hasn't benefited the American people in general. I mean, we still have a bigger problem as ever with illicit drugs. We need to find a different way to handle this problem. Just sending cops out there and saying, okay, arrest anybody with these illegal controlled substances is not going to work. It hasn't worked. And so to keep on trying the same thing and expecting a different result is not... How many police officers? Let me ask a serious question. How many police officers' lives have we lost due to this war on drugs? Are you telling me it's worth it? Now, I'm not talking about perpetrators here. I know some people are going to think, man, you're just going for the perpetrator. No, I'm not talking about the perpetrator. If that perpetrator is guilty, then him dying is not a big concern to me. The criminal dying is in the course of committing a crime is not of concern to me. What is of concern to me is taking our brave men and women who are police officers and putting them in harm's way for no good reason, and having them lose their lives for no good reason. The way we're going about this war on drugs is not working, and it is costing police officer lives. And it should not. All because you have people in power whose real goal for this is the money. It is money and control. Hell, if they could make cigarettes illegal and make it because of nicotine and make them a controlled substance, they would do it if they could get away with it. Maybe someday they will, because they're trying awfully hard to make it nearly impossible for you to smoke it. I mean, there are states that are instituting laws now where you can't even smoke one of those e-cigs in public now. Really? An e-cigarette? Yeah, I mean, they're trying to tell us that e-cigs are bad for your health, and there is no secondhand smoke with e-cigs, so I don't know why you can't smoke it in public. But no, you can't. Some places are starting to say, no, you can't smoke e-cigs either. Really? Whose business is it? It's getting to the point where they're going to try to say tobacco is now illegal. It's like marijuana. And for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, that's marijuana or pot. And yeah, I'm going to say, I don't think pot should be illegal. I don't think people should smoke it. But then again, aspirin is legal, and so is alcohol. But I don't think people should imbibe in either one of those things in excess either. But I mean, let's be real. I mean, somebody smokes pot. Maybe he's a recreational smoker. And how many people do we have fined so many dollars or even thrown in jail because they used it? They weren't selling it. They were just smoking it for themselves. There are a lot of people that go to jail for just smoking it. That's insane. And yet we're going to put our police officers' lives on the line because somebody wants to smoke pot or pop an E-pill? Really? You really think that that's a crime that is equivalent to, I don't know, corruption and like the mafia and murder and robbery? That you think taking an E-pill or smoking pot is the equivalent of that it could justify a cop putting his life on the line? I don't think so. Absolutely not. Cops' lives are, yes, they matter, and they are far too precious to be put in harm's way for that. And this whole notion of just, sending a dog in to start sniffing around, come on. That is violating that person's constitutional rights. Because, government they are seizing your vehicle without cause if there is no other reason for you to be there. Oh, no, you're going to have to sit there and wait for the dog to get here. No, they just seized your vehicle for no reason. And that's what the Supreme Court just said. They cannot do that. Now, I don't know any officer who's going to, while in the middle of trying to write you a ticket, is going to, according to this ruling, he can't put the ticket on hold and run around your car with his dog. So how's he going to do both at the same time? Well, if in the course of the traffic... No, it's not in the course of the traffic. Look, you got pulled over for speeding, or maybe you crossed the yellow line, or maybe you made the, change the lane without signaling. That does not indicate anything other than that you made a driving mistake, or maybe you're a bad driver. It indicates nothing else. So, and this whole thing that, I smell pot. Really? You know how many things smell like pot? There are a lot of things that smell. And we know that human noses are nowhere near as accurate as a dog's nose. And a dog often gets it wrong. So if you think a dog can get it wrong, do you think police officers get it wrong more often when they say they smell something? That is a crock. Everybody knows it's a crock. But, the Supreme Court has basically ruled, well, you guys can't do that. Can't do it. No, we're not going to let you. Not at this juncture. It's not something that we want, you to be able to do. There's a bunch of stuff that I just cannot, and there's stuff I wanted to get to from yesterday too that I could not get to. Maybe I need to go to 3 hours. I don't know. What do y'all think? Think I need to do a 3-hour show? It's a lot of work, though, folks. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to put on 2 hours, but you add an extra hour. I tried it. I did do it for a short period of time. It is a lot of work. I could do it. And maybe someday I will do it again, but at this juncture, it would. But even if I did 3 hours, I would still do enough research to fill 5. I mean, because this is why you have to go to to rodeccles.net, because this I'm starting to cover stuff on the website that I cannot get to or did not get to here on the show. I mean, so go to the web. It is fully updated by the next day. So yeah, hey, look, I'm a one-man operation. You got to give me some time here, okay? I know people are saying, well, Rush gets it done within an hour after the show. Well, Rush also has a small army of people working for him. I don't. Sean Hannity, he gets it done too. Well, Sean Hannity works for Fox. Again, a small army of people doing it for him. I don't think Michael Savage has a small army of people, and it takes him a while to update a site. I don't go there very often, but when I do, I notice it takes a while for things to update from his show, because I think he does a lot of it himself. Well, I mean, he's not by himself, but he does a lot of the stuff himself, so it takes him a little bit longer. Levin, and obviously Glenn Beck, they have small armies of people doing all that stuff for them. Sometimes right there while they're on the air. I don't have those people yet, but you keep listening, keep supporting. I'll get there for you. I will get there, and I'll always be the same. You can trust that. But we got here a political story. Who is this? I'm trying to having an issue here. Here we go. Politico. Not pulling up, but there is a rapper who wants to run for president. And when I say rapper, I mean, a regular, what are they, rapper, hip hop. Waka Flocka Flame is his name. Rapper Waka Flocka Flame is running for president. And this is actually on the Politico. So it's true, right? The rapper Waka Flocka Flame, no, you spell Waka like W-A-K-A, Flocka like F-L-O-C-K-A, Flame, F-L-A-M-E, announced that he's running for president. In a campaign announcement video for Rolling Stone that was released yesterday, Flame marked April 20th, a day notorious for being associated with marijuana smoking. He unveiled his 2016 campaign. I'm very pleased to announce today on 4/20, the best day of the year, I'll be running for president, Flame said. He stated first action as president should come as no surprise to legalize marijuana. Now, I don't know how he's going to be able to do it unless he issues an executive order like Obama does. But I don't think that's going to fly either. No, I don't think that's going to really make it. But yeah, Waka. So if you like the idea of President Flame, then I guess you should probably go ahead and vote for or support Waka Flocka. Support. Oh, look, these look, they're out there, folks. These people are out there. They are actually it can be scary to even think about, but they're out there. This Newsmax story, and this is another serious thing here, folks. Obama's climate plan seen making coal plants less efficient. The Obama administration's plan to cut carbon emissions may force many coal plants to run only when energy demand peaks, making them less cost-effective and less efficient. The group that oversees the U.S. electric system said, well, let's just forget coal plants and start putting solar panels in everybody's roof so that from the story from yesterday about the solar company, Solar City, forcing people, because the panels cost so damn much, to go into 20-year lease and then putting a lien on your house because you have a lease of things on your roof. So why don't we do that instead? I think that would be cheaper and more cost effective and more efficient than ruining businesses like this. Well, you're still going to be putting people out of business if there's no demand for centralized power. Well, those people that run those power plants would lose their jobs, but Obama doesn't care about that anyway. So we might as well, instead of putting all these stupid rules and regulations in place like this, that is just going to choke off our energy creation supply. Why don't we start, doing it this way? Why don't we just start paying people? Look, instead of giving all these companies, instead of giving oil companies, instead of giving these alternate energy companies like solar companies and wind companies, all of this tax money, why don't we just give the tax money to people to put these things on their roofs for at least half cost, maybe for free? Put it on your roof, everybody. It's kind of like a stimulus and grandson of stimulus and son of stimulus and all that kind of stuff. If you would have just given that money that it costs per taxpayer, if you just had given the money back to them, you would have done a hell of a lot more for the economy than what they ended up doing. So again, why don't we just give the money to the homeowner to put these stupid things on their roof? And don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I do believe in the power of and the ability of solar panels. They're not the end-all, be-all answer to our energy production needs, but they're a good supplement. They can be, especially when they're individualized to each particular property, instead of some centralized plant somewhere. But, they'd be very good to reduce power consumption from the grid if everybody had one. And one of the things is reducing the need for centralized power. Great, put these things on everybody's roof. Hey, that is going to employ a lot of people in the solar panel, building industry. And, with all these people, eventually they're going to need maintenance and repair, and that's going to create a lot more businesses with a lot more employees for doing solar maintenance and repair. So why not? Create a whole new, you want to create an industry, start putting these things on people's roofs or in their yard if they want them in their yard. Make them more affordable. That's plain and simple. Just give it to them. Why not? You're giving out our tax money anyway. Why don't you just make it reasonable and just give that to us? But the North American Electric Reliability Corp, a nonprofit that assures adequate voltage and power reserves, in an assessment Tuesday, asked the Environmental Protection Agency to delay the 2020 deadline to start implementing the Clean Power Plan, saying pipelines, transmission lines, and plants are needed to prevent the cuts from disrupting electric service. Oh, if we have rolling brownouts, that's okay. If we have blackouts, that's okay. But damn it, if we have coal plants operating to fill in the need and the gap that we have. That's not a good thing. We're not allowed to have that. I mean, really, you don't want to ever have a coal plant running. I tell you, these people, they will do anything to try to control your life. And what better way to do it than to have rolling brownouts? Then they can start dictating, like out in California with water, how much electricity you use. Don't doubt me, folks. It's coming. Don't doubt me. See you tomorrow.